Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 60th chapter, text 39. Vamnastadanda munibir gaditanu baba atmatmadas jagatam iti me britosi hitpa bavad bruba utirita kala vega basta shiksho vajababa nakapatinku tomnye. Translation. Knowing that great sages who have renounced the sannyasis danda proclaim your glories, that you are the supreme soul of all the worlds, and that you are so glorious that you have given away even your own self, I chose you as my husband, rejecting Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the rulers of heaven, whose aspirations are all frustrated by the force of time, which is born from your eyebrows. What interest then could I have in other suitors? Purport. This is Queen Rukmini's refutation of Lord Krishna's statement in text 16. There, the Lord Krishna said, Bhikshubhi shlagita muta, I am glorified by beggars. But Queen Rukmini points out that those so-called beggars are actually sages in the Paramahamsa stage of life, sannyasis, who have reached the highest level of spiritual advancement and thus given up the sannyasi rod. Lord Krishna also made two specific accusations against his wife in text 16. He said, Vaidarbi etad avigyaya. My dear Vaidarbi, you were not aware of your situation. And Vayadirga samikshaya, because you lack foresight. In this verse, Rukmini's statement, Iti me britosmi, indicates, I chose you as my husband because you possess the above-mentioned qualities. It was not a blind choice at all. Rukmini further mentions that she passed over lesser personalities like Brahma, Shiva, and the rulers of heaven, because she saw that even though, materially speaking, they were great personalities, they are frustrated by the powerful waves of time, which emanate from the eyebrows of Lord Krishna. Therefore, far from lacking foresight, Rukmini chose Lord Krishna after an exhaustive appraisal of the entire cosmic situation. Thus, she lovingly rebukes her husband here. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti interprets Rukmini's mood as follows. Quote, my dear husband, your accusation that I lack foresight indicates that you did not that you did know of my deep insight into your situation. Actually, I chose you because I knew of your true glories. Unquote. Om Jnanatimidandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare. Hi. Good morning, devotees. Again, once again, please forgive me for coming in late and everything. We were struck by lightning during what was it? The day before yesterday. And it was like one house down from where I am. So yeah, things are a little bit wonky around here, and so I have to. The internet is still not fully present there yet, and we had issues this morning. Anyway, before I begin, I would like to request all of the assembled Vaishnavas, especially the senior most devotees, that they bless me, that I can speak something which is in line with our Guru Parampara, which is enlightening to our hearts, and that our hearts become fertile ground for the sublime message to take root on. So we're seeing here something very interesting, and it's Krishna acting as a householder in a very mundane looking scene, which is a husband and a wife talking to each other. Talks between a husband and a wife in a very, very common way of just like teasing each other. So that, we this kind of goes in the face of our understanding, our usual understanding of who God is. And because of that, at the very beginning of this chapter, there are statements that glorify Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just so that it becomes clear in our heads that no, this is not this is not something completely mundane. Don't think of Krishna as just, you know, a fellow that, you know, could be your next door neighbor, or that worse could be you, because you have also a wife that you speak in joking words as well. And it reminds us, because we need reminders that no, Krishna is special. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's important for us to keep this in mind, because otherwise we'll think of Krishna as like, oh yeah, he had so many girlfriends, and you know, then I can also have some girlfriends. Or oh, he had so many girlfriends, and you know, going in the dead of night. What kind of person is he? You know, that's not, that can't be God. That can't be the Supreme Personality of God. But what we have to understand is we have to know who God is from the Bhagavatam, not what we think that God is. And Krishna is constantly challenging our conception of God. We think that God can be in a certain way, but no, he goes and does something that is like, wait, how could that be God? So for we were in conference not too long ago, just like I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was a conference of science and consciousness, and this is a very big international conference, and the Bhaktivedanta was there. You know, that there were a group of us which created a small workshop at the very beginning of the conference. This was great because we had been going to that conference for a couple of years now, and we had just presented papers, but this time we were there, especially having like our own little workshop at the very beginning. So in a more visible way, in a more focused way, basically telling people, yeah, we're here. So that was very nice. It was a first for the Bhaktivedanta Institute, and in there we can focus more our efforts to showing all of the people who attended, which were all mostly scientists in different branches of science, working in consciousness, our ideas, our conceptions of what consciousness is, what the universe is, because everyone had their own ideas. As we know, every Muni has to differ from another Muni in something, otherwise they're not a Muni. So everyone there has their own conception of consciousnesses, of what God is, of what the universe is, and some of them are really weird. Some of them are completely impractical to live by if you actually believe what you can't even believe that these people can follow their own ideas if they're really serious. So it was nice to be able to show our conception based on the Bhagavatam, and this is something that Rukmini is being challenged here. It's like Krishna is saying, like, well, basically, why do you love me, right? He's telling her in this specific verse. Well, she's responding to verse 16, where he says, like, you know, you lack insight. You're you know, you did not even choose well, you know, when you were choosing me. You know, I'm glorified by beggars, you know, like, what is this? And Rukmini is responding here. First of all, it would be interesting to look at the Sanskrit itself. The verse when she is responding, she could have responded in many different meters in poetry, in Sanskrit poetry. She's choosing right now the meter that is used in the Brahma Samhita, if you noticed. This is usually the meter that they use when they're glorifying somebody. So Lord Brahma is glorifying Krishna, and that's why he uses that meter. And in many other places, when they're going to start glorifying, when they're going to give praise, when they're going to like that, they use this meter. So she's using a very special meter when she is talking to him right now. And this indicates, first of all, that she understands who he is. That he, you're not just like my husband, like a guy I married. No, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is indicated by the way that she's speaking. And yeah, because back then, they didn't have emojis to put, like the prayer hands or something like that. So this is the way that in Sanskrit poetry they indicate emotion sometimes, and it's by the meter. So with the meter, we understand that she is glorifying Krishna in a very reverential mood, understanding who he is. And second, we understand from what she's saying that she knows perfectly well why she chose him as a husband, having passed over people, lesser personalities such as Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and all of the devatas, all of these rulers of the heavens. She's saying that I chose you. I made a very specific understanding, and these people that you're calling beggars, they're actually Paramahamsas who have given up even their rod. You know that there are 4 stages of sannyasis, and the 4th stage, which is the Paramahamsa stage, they give up even their danda, their rod. So that's why she's saying, like, these people who have are highly elevated, those are the ones that you call beggars, that are praising you. So they're not really beggars in the usual meaning of the word. They're the highest, most spiritually enlightened people. Those are the ones who are praising you. So I know why I chose you. And this is important because Krishna is basically, testing her in a way. Like, why do you love me? Why do you say that you love me? Right? That is what this whole conversation is about. He's teasing her, like, uh, you know, you're not so bright. You chose me when you could have chosen somebody else. Who's more qualified, like that. And she is showing by her response that actually, this is why I love you. This is why I do this. And it's something that very natural that happens amongst lovers, right? They ask themselves, hey, why do you love me? Right? That is a very common question. Why do you love me? And the answer is very important whenever that question comes up, which always comes up in between lovers. Why do you love me? The person really has to think at that point, because you know that if you give a wrong answer, if especially a very superficial answer, the other person is going to become upset. And the reason for this is because the knowing how to respond to this question is, how deep is your love really? That is what it's testing. How deep is your love? Yes, that does remind you of a very old song, but you want to know how How deep does your love go? How much will it withstand anything that comes against it? Because we're constantly tested in our love towards Krishna or towards our lover and like that. And we have seen that many people were with Prabhupada very close to him, and their love for Prabhupada, their love for Krishna, so for some of them was so strong that even though so many crazy things happened in ISKCON in the beginning, they're still here, and some others, they just left and never came back. Prabhupada, one of the things that he constantly emphasized on was, you have to read my books. You have to read my books. Why was he emphasizing that? So that we have reasons to really say, like, I love Krishna. We have complete understanding of Krishna, so that we know why we love Krishna. If we don't do that, then again, as we will be challenged at some point, it will just be we will just be blown off, and we will leave Krishna consciousness altogether. Because if just imagine if somebody comes and says, like, hey, do you love this person? And this person says that, yes, I love that other person. Well, why do you love that person? I don't know. I like him, or I like her. Well, that doesn't really, hit the spot, does it? It really goes, it tells you that this person will leave that other person when they find somebody else, when somebody else that makes them feel better, right? But if this person has a deep understanding, if they've been married for so many years, and they'll tell you, like, things like, I love the way that this person, their compassion, their the way that they treat the plants in the garden. I love the way they'll give you, like, a whole list of things why they love them, right? And then you can understand, like, yes, this person will stay regardless of what happens. Whenever things and temptations and whatever come, this person will stay because they know why they love them. And so Rukmini is showing here, I know, I chose you. Yes, I believe in you. So it's not just a question of, why do you love God? And this is something that Burijan Prabhu, in a class that I was listening to, he was saying about Grandfather Bhishma. When he was talking about Grandfather Bhishma, he was talking about how at the end of life of Bhishma Dev, he was lying in a bed of arrows after a war, and he was speaking. And at some point, he knew, like, okay, it's time. It's time for me to go. It's the sun has just passed. A point where it now becomes an auspicious time to leave my body, and now I have to focus in on Krishna. And when he did that, his passing away, he's focusing his mind on Krishna, to leave his body, which is the most important thing that we can do in our life. This is the moment where will tell us where we're going to go. So he began thinking of Krishna in a very specific way. He began thinking of Krishna as he was during the battle that they had just been in, the battle of Kurukshetra, where Krishna was defending his devotee Arjuna. So in this the context of this battle is that okay, for some, for different reasons, I'm not going to go into the whole battle. Arjuna, Krishna's devotee, was on one side, and Krishna was his chariot driver, and Bhishma was on the other side of the with the other army, and Bhishma was challenged that you're not doing enough. You're just weak. You're just favoring, and he had to say like, no, I am totally committed to this, and so much so that I make a vow. I make a vow that either I kill Arjuna in tomorrow, or Krishna will have to break his vow. Krishna will have to break his vow of not fighting to protect his devotee, because that's the only other way that he's going to survive. So Krishna, Bhishma was remembering, he was he was going to protect his devotee. That is the vision of that Bhishma Dev is thinking, that I'm going to protect. Krishna is breaking his own vow just to protect my vow, and he's trying to protect the life of his devotee Arjuna, and so he is deciding to, okay, I'm going to break my vow by picking up whatever is at hand, which was a chariot wheel, and charging at Bhishma. And in this state, he was it's the middle of the war, so he was sweaty. He was covered with dust all over, including his hair, and his blood was mixing with the sweat. And for this, Bhishma was loving it, seeing, this is the love of Krishna, and this is the mood that he loved Krishna in. This love, this mood of a warrior, of just giving it all for love. This is something that Burjan Prabhu was saying is important, because Bhishma Dev knew what it is about Krishna that he loved. What were the characteristics that attracted him to Krishna? And so he was saying, we have to similarly find what is it about Krishna that attracts us. What are those characteristics that, for me personally, Krishna is so endearing, so that he pulls the strings of my heart. That is important, because at the moment of death, that is where we're gonna go to. When we are, if we have a very superficial love for God, we're not gonna really remember God at that time. And if we are, then it's like, okay, what should I be thinking of? Oh yeah, I like God because he created everything, because he gives me stuff, he maintains me. Okay, well, can you be more specific? Like what is it that really attracts you? What is it that, wow, like this is amazing. Like Bhishma Dev, for that moment, it was like seeing that intensity of love in Krishna. That was for him the maximum, and that's what he was remembering. So we ourselves, as we're hearing all of these pastimes of Krishna, we have to think what are we attracted to him? What is it that makes me want to love Krishna? That go like, oh yeah, like I could never love anybody else because of this. Well, not that I could never love it. I could never leave, his side. I could never, forgo with Krishna, or just say like, oh, that was a phase of my life. Being a Hare Krishna. No, like, why is it that I'm so drawn to Krishna? Having my reasons to believe, and I'm going to leave it here at since I know that Ananda Vihari Prabhu likes to leave some time for questions and discussions. So, Jai, if this is a time for you to either make a comment, ask a question, or make a good joke. Okay, I think there were.
Can you hear me? Okay? Hare Krishna?
Yes.
But hey, wonderful class and a really superlative presentation about how no one is more worthy of our complete affection than Krishna, and how that focus will solidify the relationship. And interestingly enough, one of the things Srila Prabhupada says that's sort of like a purva paksha, and on the other hand, Prabhupada says, love has many faces. Love has many faces. In other words, there's many aspects to affection. And one of the things is, Lord Chaitanya is Patita Pavana. He loves, cares for the most fallen. And Srila Prabhupada loves us. Even though I'm not Krishna, somehow or other he has affection for you, right? His complete affection for you. Not because you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but it's a love not based on what he's going to get from you or based on our qualification, but he's loving us as an offering to Krishna in order to please Krishna. And it's kind of like a causeless caring. So there's that love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then there's the love that Krishna has for us and Guru has for us, which is causeless and we're completely unqualified and unworthy. But it's so sweet that he has that concern, even though I'm a fallen soul. He's reaching out to help me, benefit me, guide me, and bring him back. And we are also called like that, to look at them, the fallen, to look at the unloved, the unlovable, and to show Krishna's love to them. So that's just like a flip side. It's not contradicting anything that you're saying, but in addition to that, love has many faces. And Prabhupada said, I love you for you, not because of what I get from you. Which is kind of like an interesting kind of affection. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu, scripture says, that the devotee is equally disposed toward everyone, that we have love for everyone. And one time Prabhupada said, if what you feel for me, you don't feel for the most fallen and most troublesome person in your life, then what you feel for me is not love. It's something else. It's kind of like complex. Love is more complex than what we might see on first glance. Of course, Prabhupada, sorry to talk so long.
Thank you, Hariprabhu. What better example of compassion than the work that Adiprabhu is doing at with all of the homeless and everything. So thank you for that, Prabhu. We have different phases of love. If we're just loving God for because he is the he gives us everything, because he gives us everything that we ask for, then when we don't get what we ask for, then we're not even going to believe that he exists, right? He didn't give me what I wanted, so therefore he can't be God, he can't exist, right?
Murli, Gopal, there's a question in the chat.
What we're having here is really something that is pushing our understanding of God, so that we can love him in very deep ways, as Adi Prabhu was saying, for who he is. If you only love somebody because he gives you what you want, what kind of love is that? Right? But here we're getting a really deep, intimate picture of who Krishna is in his most vulnerable ways, especially in the 10th canto. We've seen Krishna with his intimate devotees in Vrindavan, and how they love him for who he is, beyond the conception of his God, and that and that love that Prabhupada said, when this love is towards towards God, it's called bhakti, and when that same love goes towards towards all living entities, it becomes compassion, compassion for all. And I think that Jamuna Jai had a question, and then Jeffrey.
We have stuff in the chat, Murli Gopal Prabhu. Very interesting question in the chat. I hope we'll get to it.
Yeah, why don't you take the question in the chat, Murli? That's
Okay,
an interesting question.
let me see. What is the question in the chat?
Neha has a wonderful question about difficulty loving Krishna when he takes things away from you. How do we view that?
Okay, yeah. It's we have to understand first, who Krishna is. It is said that Krishna is our Krishna is the controller of everything, right? Krishna is the enjoyer of everything, and Krishna is our well-wishing friend. So these three things are very important, because when something is taken away from us, the question is why, right? Why did he take this away from me? Especially if it was so important for me. Why did he take it away from me? If you understand that actually Krishna, yes, he is all powerful, then he can take it away, and he did take it away. But second, you also have to understand that he is our well-wishing friend, Sukhridam. Very, very close to the heart, that friend that is very close to the heart. So when he's doing it for our own good. He's doing it because he loves us. When the parent takes something away from the child that is going to harm them, that is not good for the child. The child, may initially just, throw a tantrum and go like, no, I want this. Why did you take it away from me like that? But if the child understands, like, no, my mother or my father, they actually love me, and they've taken this away from me for my own good, then there's less of a tantrum. Exactly. Krishna gives us what we need, not just what we want. And we eventually, what we see in our lives as we progress through our faith, is that we eventually get to see that, oh, actually, yes, what happened here helped me in this other way later on. I couldn't see it at the time. It's a very retrospective kind of thing, where it's like, now I understand why Krishna took this, because he wanted something better for me. But you have to have that initial faith in Krishna, that, okay, even though I don't understand right now why he's doing it, there have been things in my life where I've seen enough that he really does care about me, that he really does love me, and if this is happening to me, it's actually not happening to me, but for me. This is something that as we build our faith, it becomes stronger, and then we're not so fazed by all of these things that are happening to us. We just go like, okay, Krishna, what is your plan? If you see, like, the devotees, the devotees have been for so long in the movement, that's the mood that they take. Okay, Krishna, what's your plan? Show me. They're willing to wait. They're willing to give Krishna, the time to unfold his plan for us.
Thank you, Murli Gopal Prabhu. There's a question from Angel Prabhu. Angel Prabhu says in the chat, where is it? If you have to explain why you love someone, there's a problem, as it's an emotion, not an intellectual exercise. Now, what do you say to that, Murli Gopal Prabhu?
Well, we have to have both. for love. We have to have, yes, there's an emotion, but we also have to understand intellectually, as I was explaining in the beginning, that even the lovers themselves are constantly asking, like, "Hey, why do you love me?" Right? It's a silly question that ha ha ha, but there's something behind it that is very important. That if you answer wrong, if you answer very superficially, then the emotion then is going to suffer, right? It's definitely difficult to go into this because we have to intellectualize, why we're doing certain things. So it's a tough exercise, but it's an important exercise, because, as I was explaining in the lecture, we have to go through trials, and if we don't have it at least in some way intellectualized, I'm not saying that it has to be intellectualized to its itty bitty details, but at least you have some good solid foundations for it. Like if you like Bhishma Dev, he was having this understanding of Krishna. Like, why do you love Krishna? Well, I saw how he was willing to go and forgo his promise, to break his promise for the love of his devotee. That is just so heartwarming for me. That is my God. That is why I love him, right? If a person says yeah, like I love my partner because he or she is willing to do anything for me, and I've seen it in this case, in this instance, like that. Okay, that's something that's very powerful there, right? So we have to understand it, because if we don't think about it, what is it that by Shishika Prabhu says, where the attention goes, energy flows, right? So our attention, if this is something that we have to meditate on, on Krishna, and what is it that I like about Krishna? This is a good subject of meditation. You don't have to intellectualize it, to its till you can't anymore, but you have to understand it well enough to go like, yes, I want to think about this. Of all the things that you can think about, the Kardashians, or the political affairs, of U.S. with China or whatever. This is the most important and incredible thing to think about: our love for Krishna.
Thank you, Murli, Gopal Prabhu. Okay, it's darshan time.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Gaurachandra, Jai Shri Radharani Singh Dev.
Hare
Jai Kisarana Mulidhar, Shri Guru Chandra, Jai. Okay. Yeah, we love Krishna because of the things that we hear about him, and we hear about Krishna. We love hearing about Krishna because we love him. It's like, why is water liquid? Because that's its nature. Why do we love Krishna? Because that's our nature. It's there already. Therefore, that's why when we hear about Krishna, we become ecstatic, because this love, the dormant love that's there already, awakens when we hear about Krishna. I wonder if Jamuna Jai is still here. Yeah, she's teaching her yoga class. Starts at 8. Jeffrey Eckler. We can't hear you, Jeffrey. Maybe it's just me. Why does Jeffrey Eckler chant while driving? Because that's his nature. Always chant. Always chant Hare Krishna. All right. Yeah, we can't hear you, Prabhu. We can't. We know you love Krishna. Don't you want somebody to love Bhima, Prabhu? Of course, yes. Those references. There's one more question from Angel. Murli Gopal, Prabhu, if you have a minute.
Yes.
Do we have to fear Krishna just like we love him? Is fear part of love?
Fear is an initial stage of love of God. You know, what is it? God fearing person. They say in Christianity, and to mean a good devotee, right? That's an initial way. Like, okay, you follow the rules and regulations because you fear that you'll get punished if you don't. So you're like the little kid that is there, and if they fear the parent, then okay they'll behave, right? But as you progress in your love for God, that fear is not there for God anymore. What you fear is losing your relationship with God. That is the greatest fear of a devotee, losing that relationship with God. Not because of God's side, but because from our own side, right? So that is where we really want to go towards to that fear of losing that connection that we're starting to make with Krishna right now. Being here in this Bhagavatam class, hearing about Krishna, like that, we're starting to like reconnect to Krishna, create that. So anything that is going to block that is going to make us forget it again, that is going to like make us push us away from Krishna, that is where the real fear starts. And that is the thing that the devotee fears the most.
So when you miss class, Angel Prabhu, should be fearful. And then Mother Yashoda was fearful that Krishna might hurt himself by eating dirt, or she was fearful that Krishna might get squashed by this huge mountain he was holding on his pinky. That's transcendental fear. Is that modified, Gopal?
Yeah, I mean, you have the fear, for Krishna, in that sense. And it's the parental mood. The parental mood is all about fear.
That's right.
Oh, is my child okay? Is my did he or she eat? Are they, is their health okay? Constantly, it's constant fear. That there's nothing but fear in there. Just like, okay, but in a good way. For concern. Out of love. So yeah, just because you come to Krishna consciousness doesn't mean that you don't have worries anymore. No, now you have worries, but for Krishna.
Thank you, Murli Gopal. Wonderful class. Who wants to speak? Can take one more. It's 8:11. It's Saturday. We can drag it out a little bit. Adi Purusha Prabhu. Draupadi Purusha. Draupadi. We reinitiated them. Unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, Nanda Kumara was Prabhupada's personal servant. You know Nanda Kumara? Anyway, he was telling me that one devotee was telling Srila Prabhupada how much he loved him. And Prabhupada said, love is good. That is natural. We have to be a little careful with sentiment. If you come on the basis of something sentimental, you'll leave on the basis of something sentimental, because sentiment comes and goes. So Murli Gopal was explaining something about how it's a little more substantial if we have some knowledge and intellectual appreciation of why we have this relationship. Maybe that's a contribution. Anyway, just something Prabhupada said. Oh, glories to Prabhupada.
Thank you, Adi Prashru. Yes, there's a place for sentiment, and there is a place, well, not sentimentalism. So there's a place for sentiment. There's a place for rationalization. You don't want to overdo one.
The heart and the
to
head.
the neglect of other.
The heart and the head are both components, right?
Yes, you want to link these two for Krishna.
That's why
So if you're all sentiment, then you become sentimental. If you're all rationalization, then you just become a dry speculator.
And Nanda Vihari has speakerphone on, so everything's echoing.
I know, I'm sorry.
Prabhupada says religion without philosophy is, and philosophy without religion is mental speculation. Quote Prabhupada.
Prabhupada says devotional service. It doesn't say devotional sentiment or intellectual service. It's devotional service. It's both. Thank you, Murli Gopal Prabhu and Adi Purusha Prabhu for highlighting that. Jeffrey Eckler, did you figure out the sound? No. Okay.
Maybe it's connected to your car right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right, dear devotees, pray for Donald. He fell again. Anandi's there to take care of him. Let's pray. She wants us to pray that Krishna will might be done. And Anandi, Krishna is there for you and for all of us at all times. Okay. Love means get to work. All right, let's get to work. We heard enough. Now let's go practice. Let's go put this into practice. Thank you, Murli Gopal. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Thanks everyone on this call and outside. We see you again tomorrow. Enjoy for Krishna, work for Krishna, hear about Krishna, because that's our nature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare.